Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth. It's good to have you. Please consider subscribing and turning on your post notification bell if you are a crafter or just enjoy crafting videos. My goal at the moment is to have 2,000 of you lovely people subscribe to my channel. So please help me to achieve my goal so I can continue to bring you more crafting videos. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this handy accessory holder using scraps of fabric. I'll be using the crickets to cut out my material, so all you need is a swivel clasp and 2 strong magnets. Let's sew. And if you would like to see how I do this, stay tuned. Okay, so today it's a quick project using scraps of material and the cricket. So I've already cut out my 2 bits of material here. I have a faux leather in this snake skin, and I have my waterproof canvas. So this is a really good make using scraps of fabric that are just not big enough to do anything else. Okay, so I am also going to be using some magnets here. I've got 2. They're really strong. I'll link where I got this in the description. And I have a 1-inch swivel clasp here in gold. And I'm going to be using Fabri-Tac as well. You can use double-sided tape as well. I've made it with double-sided tape, but I think this will be quicker for me, so I'm going to try this, and if it doesn't work I will revert back to the double-sided tape. So I'm just going to show you how to set this up in the cricket now. Check it out. So I'm in Cricut Design Space, and for this project I'm just going to use simple shapes. So the first thing I want to do is just make a template. So I'm going to come over to my left panel here and pick a square. I'm going to leave it on 2 inches, but as for my height, I'm going to unlock my proportions, and I'm going to change that to 5.189. Now that is a odd number to have, but it works, so you can use that as your template or change it up, it doesn't matter. You can use any of the shapes here to make this accessory bag magnet. So I have my template here. Now I'm going to pick a shape, so I'm going to pick this hexagon, and the hexagon comes in with these dimensions, so I'm going to leave it. I want the width to be 2 inches. I'm just going to change the color just so that we can see it for now. So I'm going to make it white. Okay, so we have our hexagon here. I'm going to go back to my left menu panel here, and I'm going to select a circle, and I'm going to change that. This circle is for the size of my magnet, so I want that to be 0.59, because that's roughly the size of my magnet. So here we go, we have our circle. I'm going to put it on top of my hexagon, and then I'm going to select the hexagon and the circle, and I'm going to center it. So here we have it centered. I'm going to actually move it to my template here, like so. And and I'm going to duplicate this hexagon shape. So I have another one which I'm going to bring down to the bottom. Just try and get it as centered as I can. I am going to refine this anyway. So for now, I'm going to turn off my circles just so it doesn't interfere with what I'm doing. I'm going to select one of my hexagons and my template and just align the one at the top to the top of my template and the one at the bottom with the bottom of my template. So I'm coming up to the top menu where it says aligned, and I'm going to align it to the bottom. Right, I'm going to turn on my circles because I want to make sure it is centered still. So I'm going to select my circle and my hexagon and then just align that to the center again, and then do the same thing to the one at the top. Turn it back on. Right, I'm going to turn these circles off for now. I'm going to go back to my left hand menu here and select a square, and for this I want it to be 1 inch wide. I'm going to take off my aspect ratio, my proportions, and my width is going to be 1 inch. I'm going to make that white so we can see it. And then I'm going to bring it over, and I'm just going to drag it up a bit so it overlaps both of my hexagons. I'm going to select my new rectangle I've just made and both of my hexagons, and back to my align menu here, and I'm going to center it horizontally like so. Okay, right, let's see where our circle is. I think our circles are fine where they are. Yep, so I'm going to turn those off again, and I'm going to select my hexagon, and up here on the menu bar it's a basic cut, but I don't want it to cut. I want it to be a pen draw. So I'm just going to select both of my hexagons and make them a draw instead of a basic cut, and this rectangle in the center as well is also going to be a pen draw. Lovely. Right, now I'm going to select that rectangle, one of my hexagons, and I'm going to weld it together. So I'm coming down to my bottom right menu here where it says combine, and I'm going to weld it. So you can see here on the right that we have a welded result. I'm going to select that and the other hexagon, go to combine and weld that also. Okay, so we have a welded drawn shape. I can actually turn this template off now. So let me just turn that off. Lovely. I'm now going to make an offset, and this offset is going to be where I cut. So I don't want any curves. I want a nice straight corners. So I'm selecting the corners with a very straight edge and not the curved one. And my offset is at 0.25, which is 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to apply it. Now my offset is also a draw, which I don't want, so I'm going to come over here to my operations and do a basic cut like so, and we can make it pink. Let's make it pink because the vinyl I'm using is going to be pink. Right, I'm going to select my drawn welded result and my offset, which is a basic cut. Select both and I'm going to duplicate it. So here we go, we have it duplicated here. I'm actually going to make this a different color. So let's have it red. This red one is going to be my lining fabric, which is waterproof canvas. So I'm going to select its welded result as well, and I'm going to attach it. So we've got the drawn and the basic cut, which is red. I'm going to attach it together. And then as for this one here, I'm going to turn the circles back on. I'm actually going to bring it to the front because you can't see it. So arrange at the top menu and bring to front. This other one, I'm also going to bring it to the front. This also is going to be drawn. So pen draw, and so is this circle here going to be a pen draw as well. Okay, lovely. I'm now going to select everything on my pink here. So we have, for my pink one, we have the basic cut, then we have the welded drawn results, and we've got our circles, which are also going to be drawn. These are just going to mark where I place my magnets. So I'm going to select everything because I want it to stay together. So it's selected both of my circles, my welded drawn result, and my basic cut, which is the offset, and then I'm going to attach them together like so. So I have this one here, which is going to be my main fabric in the vinyl or leatherette, and then we have this one here, which is going to be my lining, which is the waterproof canvas. So that's it. I'm now going to take it to the Cricut to cut out my fabric, and you can do this with any shape. I think it would be quite nice if you had, for example, if you had a heart would be a nice one, or a square even, or a circle would be quite nice. A star would also work, but I feel like it would be a lot more tricky to sew. So let me take you to the Cricut. So I am at the Cricut. I already have my fabric on my mat, and I've got the fabric, both of them, face down because I want the pen to draw on the back and not on the front. So it's going to cut my waterproof canvas first, and I am cutting this on faux leather paper thin. I've pushed my star wheels out of the way as well. Okay, so let's cut. So that is our waterproof canvas cut. I'm just going to check to make sure it has cut all the way through before I remove it from the mat. And it has cut through, so I'm going to leave that on there. I'm going to eject it, and then I'm going to set up my faux leather. So I'm cutting my faux leather on a shimmer leather 1mm, and I am cutting it with more pressure. And you can see here that I've got masking tape because my mat is losing its stickiness, and I don't want my material to move. So let's cut this one now. So I'm just going to check to see if this is also cut. Let's have a look before I remove it. And yeah, I can see it's cut all the way through. Well, there's some bits that are still kind of attached, but I can cut that with a pair of scissors. So I'm going to unload it and then remove it from the mat. I need a new mat. I'm in need of a new mat. Okay, so I'm just going to go, because it didn't cut all the way through here, so I'm just going to go with a pair of scissors and just cut these bits off where it's just kind of still attached. Well, this one cut all the way through, so this is okay. So we have that one, and this is the fabric that I'm using, or material. Quite pretty. And this one, I'm just going to get a pair of scissors and just cut around that. Okay, so I have my pair of scissors, and I'm just going to carefully go around where I can see the cut lines. I think it could have done with maybe more pressure, but it is fine. Okay, so here is both pieces cut to size, and we have our markings on the back. So let's go and sew and put this together. So now that you've seen how this is cut out, okay, and we have our markings on the back to help us to cut. So I'm leaving a, it's drawn basically a 1/4 of an inch for me, so that I can fold in the raw edges like that. But before we do that, I need to make some snips. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting tiny little triangles on all of these points here, and the angles that go inwards, so here, here, here and here, I'm just going to be doing a straight snip in. So I'm going to be cutting just a hair before my pen marks, like that. And then here I'm going to be cutting a very tiny triangle. I'm going to cut them small, and if I need to increase it, I will do so. We want it quite a neat point here without cutting into our line, like that. So this is what you want, so that you can then fold these in like that. And I can see already I might need to snip just a little bit more off this side. So that when you fold it in, it's not overlapping. Like that. And it's overlapping just a little bit there, so I just need to keep refining it. I'm sure there's a precise size that I could have cut out, but I don't want to snip too much away. So this is what we want, so that when we put it down, we have a nice fold at the corner like that. So I'm just going to keep refining it so that they don't overlap like that, and then I'll be back to show you how to stick this down. Okay, so I have snipped all of my little points here. I mean, I could have added a cut line here to save me from having to do the snips. That's an option, to just put little triangles here and have that cut it out rather than doing it by hand. That is a good option, I believe. Okay, now I am going to add my glue. So I am using Fabri-Tac, and hopefully it will stick it quite nicely for me. If it doesn't, I'll just resort back to using double-sided tape. So I'm just going to put a teeny bit of glue here just to hold it down, and then I'm going to fold where my line is. Okay, it may not want to stay. Let's see what happens. I'm going to add some clips on. Hopefully that will help to keep it down, and if it doesn't, I'll just use double-sided tape. So I'm just going to add glue all around the edge and hold it down with my clips. Okay, so this is what we want, all folded in. So all the raw edges folded in. So I'm just going to leave this to dry. I think I'll add a clip here just to press that bit down. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to the side to dry, and then I'm going to also prepare this one. So it's pretty much the same thing. Glue, fold down, and this probably will be easier. Let's see, let me just show you. that it will be easier to fold down because it's waterproof canvas. So hopefully, my tip is getting a bit gunked up. I need to give that a clean. So, like so. It should be easier, she says. Like that. Yep, and it is easier. It's gonna get messy. I'm gonna get glue all over my fingers, but that is what we want. So I'm just going to do this off camera where I fold around my waterproof canvas, and then we'll be back. Okay, so my pieces are now stuck down like so, and now I'm going to stick my magnets on. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue here in my circle and here, like that. And then I'm going to stick my magnets on. So I have my magnets here, they're very, very strong magnets. So I'm just going to stick them down in my circle. Like so. Okay. Make sure I have the right side stuck on. Let me see. Yep, they do attract. So we want them stuck down just like this. And then I'm going to put a weight on it just for a little bit, just to keep it stuck down properly. So I'm just going to put this on top of it, and then the project is almost done. So I'm going to wait for this to adhere to the material for the magnets to stick, and then we're going to put it together and sew. Okay, so I think that is stuck on really well. So I'm now going to match the two pieces together. Paying attention to the corners first of all, and just clipping it into place. And now I'm going to sew it at 1/8 of an inch from the edge to bring these two pieces together. So I'm going to be using a stitch length of 4.5. And I think I'm going to leave my tails long. Now, the magnet wants to stick to my machine, so I have to be careful. I'm going to fold this side up because, see, it and it slid out. It's really strong magnets, very strong. I need to stick that back down. So I've got my E6000 here, and this will be much better. So let's add a little bit on. I think when I made this initially, I did use E6000 and not Fabri-Tac. Don't know what I was thinking. E6000 is a much better, stronger glue. wait for that to just kind of stick to the material. And I'm going to try my best to hold it when I'm sewing, just so that it doesn't try to move, because there's such strong magnets, these ones, and they need to be able to hold your accessories in place. So I'm going to put something heavy on it. Will that go on it? Not with these clips. I might have to take some of these clips out. And then do that. Yeah. So I'm just going to leave that like that with that weight on top of it, and then hopefully that will stick quite nicely, and then we can finally sew and put this thing together. Do not use Fabri-Tac to stick your magnets down. It doesn't work. This is good for sticking the raw edge of the material down, but you need the E6000 to stick your magnets. I don't know what I was thinking. So we'll just wait for that to kind of do its job, and we'll be back to sew it together. Okay, so the E6000 has bonded, so now I am going to attach the liner wrong sides facing. So I'm going to match up all of these points. What it looks like when we've clipped both sides together. I'm paying attention to all those points to make sure that they are all matched. And now it's time to sew. Now the magnets are very, very strong, so I need to be careful because it will want to stick to my machine. So I'm going to bend this side up and lift this side while I'm sewing, so it doesn't stick to the machine. And I'm going to sew this at a 4.5 stitch length. I'm not going to back stitch. I think I want to pull my threads to the back and tie it off at the back, so I have a nice finish on the front. And I'm going to sew 1/8 of an inch away from this edge here to bring both sides together. I can feel the magnets already wanting to attach to my machine. So I've just overshot this a bit, so I want to just take off a few stitches. Okay, so I'm just going to tie this to the back because I went over the part that I was supposed to. So I'm just rectifying that. So I'm going to tie this to the back, and then I'm going to take it back to the machine and finish it off. Okay, so I'm just going to take this back to the machine and finish off the stitch. So I'm going to put the needle back into that last stitch that I did. Okay, so here we have it. So the next thing we're going to do is attach our swivel clasp. So you can see it won't fit, so we need to fold this and slip it over. I'm actually going to do it the other way, not this way, so let me just slide that off. So you want your swivel clasp facing this way, so this part with the hook you want it facing the same way the exterior is facing, and then slide that on. So now I just need to stitch across here to hold it in place. So here it is finished, the accessory holder which you can clip onto your bag. I would say when you're making this, two things. Stick your magnets with E6000, so this stuff right here, okay, use this and not Fabri-Tac because it doesn't create a strong enough bond. And the other thing would be that you need to make sure that your magnets are attracting each other when they are going to close and not repelling each other, otherwise it won't work. So those are the two bits of advice I would give. Why did I give that advice? Because yeah, I did the wrong thing. I used Fabri-Tac before to try and stick my magnets, and obviously it didn't stick, and I did put the magnets where they repelled each other. So those are the two bits of advice I would give when you are creating your accessory holder. And it's just a cute little project with scraps of fabric that you have. You saw how small it was when I was cutting it on the Cricut. So here is a bag, and this just came about as we are now in winter. I mean, this can be used any time of year, but we are now in winter here in the UK, and sometimes when I have my woolly hat on or my neck scarf, I might get warm when I go into a shop or just anywhere really and want to take those things off and don't want to hold it in my hand, so this comes in handy. So I have a woolly hat here, and you could do this with a cap or visor, a neck scarf, a pashmina. So here it is. It's not going to fall off because I've used really strong magnets for this. And you just clip it onto your bag. So I could just clip it on there, and there you have it. So you don't have to hold it in your hand or anything like that. And when you're ready to put it on, just unsnap it and you can put your cap on. You can also use cotton fabric. You just need to interface it. Any scrap bits of fabric really, that's all you need. Scrap bits of fabric, your clasp and extra strong magnets, and your Cricut, or you can cut it out by hand, but it's just a quick easy project for those little bits of fabric that you don't know what to do with. So thank you for watching. Bye. So if you found this video interesting or useful, please like and subscribe if you haven't yet done so, and turn on your post notification bell and make sure you check all so you never miss an upload from me. Please feel free to interact with the comment section by leaving any comments, questions or any suggestions about any videos that I should do in the comment section below. You're also welcome to join our Facebook group. It's Craft Junkie Studio, and I will leave the link in the description box below. And as always, don't have a good day, have an amazing day.